A door of hope. Doesn't that sound intriguing? Stay with us and let's find out what that ministry is all about as they offer hope to young women in our community. Hello and welcome to another edition of Northshore Talk. I'm your host, Beth Davis, and my guest today is Kristen Maddox, who is the executive director and founder of a wonderful ministry called A Door of Hope that's over in the Livingston Parish area. Kristen, welcome to the program today.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. Kristen was with us one time last year as she was just about to kick off the ministry. And a lot has happened since then.
Yes, absolutely. We're excited because we actually now have a center opened in Denham Springs where we are able to provide hope to girls 13 years old and older. And right now, actually, I'll take you back a bit. 17 years ago, I walked through the doors of what I thought was an abortion clinic. Very broken, young lady, and I was addicted to crack. Had been battling a 12-year crack addiction and had pretty much made up my mind that abortion was my only option. What I didn't realize is that I had an appointment with God that day and didn't even know it. And what I thought was an abortion clinic turned out to be a ministry, a crisis pregnancy center. And because of the counseling that I received that day, I was able to choose life for my daughter. Who is now 17 or about to be any day now. And so here we are 17 years later, and out of all the places that we could have had an office or established a center, it is the same building, it is the same suite,
That's
it is
amazing.
the same counseling room that I sat in 17 years ago.
Wow.
So
You just got to know that there's something divine about that.
yes.
Wow. That's an amazing testimony.
Yes. So we're excited because we're able now to work with girls one-on-one that are struggling with life-controlling issues and self-destructive behaviors such as childhood sexual abuse, a past abortion, addiction, depression, and what we're seeing a lot with our teenage girls is self-harm. A lot of them are crying out for help, and they're cutting as a way of crying out for help. And so we're able to work with them one-on-one, as well as provide classes for them that teach them biblical principles for how to overcome these issues and how to break free from that cycle.
Well, it sounds like you certainly are meeting a need. I mean, you probably have way more clients, way more calls than what you can handle at this point because there are a lot of hurting young women.
Absolutely.
And so you said something about prison ministry as well?
Yes, we have been given the opportunity to go into Livingston Parish Jail. And it's funny because just as God, kind of brought me full circle with the building, he also brought me full circle with the prison because that prison is the one that I turned myself in at 4 months pregnant and strung out on drugs, and where God met me in that prison cell. So we have the opportunity now to go in to bring hope and to encourage and to teach these girls that that now is the time to make some serious choices in their life. Now is the time for change, not to waste the time that they're in jail, that their change begins now.
I don't think there's anything more powerful than a story like yours when you're reaching out to someone that's in a desperate place and you've been there and you've coming back to say you can overcome this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's always hope. It doesn't matter how long you've been addicted. It doesn't matter how long that you've been tormented with painful memories. Now's the time. If you feel the Lord tugging at your heart, we're here to help you walk out of your past. It doesn't have to affect your future. You can be free. And we'd like to be there to help you.
That's right. And I mean, really, we don't want to gloss over that. She said something about crack. I mean, this was serious stuff. You had some serious issues.
Absolutely.
And somehow just were delivered and are living such an incredible testimony.
Jesus. Jesus. Because there was a deep cry inside my soul for freedom. And I didn't know how to get free. And Jesus heard my cry. And he has the power to set us all free. And he set me free. And I just live to help others get free.
Do you think that's a common denominator? Do you think most anyone in that situation has that freedom cry going on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our vision is to have a home for these girls. And I know that it's coming soon because God hears their cry. He hears them crying out. And he's going to answer that cry. And that's why A Door of Hope is here, is because he's answering the cry that's inside their soul.
Yes, yes. And you came today to tell us about a couple of events that are coming up soon?
Yes. We have a 5K Run for Hope coming up Saturday, October 26th in the Antique District at Denham Springs, at the Denham Springs train station. And forms are available online, registration forms and t-shirt order forms. So that's going to be very exciting. You don't have to run it. You can walk it. I'm going to be walking it. But we also want to invite the public out on Wednesday, November the 6th. We have a open house. We're going to have refreshments. We're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony. And it's an opportunity for you to come and tour the facility and see where A Door of Hope is and learn a little bit more about what we do.
Because this is a brand new office, really.
Yes.
You didn't have an office the last time we spoke.
That's
a year
right.
ago.
That's
Brand
right.
new.
Yes.
So this is a really exciting time.
Yes.
And you brought a guest with you today.
I did.
Miss Louise Cook, and she's going to come up and chat with us next. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with Miss Louise Cook. And when she walked in the studio today, I was so surprised because I used to go to church with Louise years ago. And so it was a great reunion to see you again.
Thank you. I feel the same.
And then to find out that you are a member of the board
Yes, ma'am.
for Door of Hope, and also just the support director, which I've come to understand means she just does whatever Kristen needs her to do.
Yes, that's right. We're also in the prison ministry together, and we have another lady that also comes, and we go to the Livingston jail once a month, and we offer these girls hope. And we have come to understand that 77% to 90% of the women that have been incarcerated have either been physically abused, sexually abused, or past abortion situations. So
What was that percentage?
77% to 90% of women
Wow.
sometime in their life have had these traumas that have gone on. And I like to refer them as trigger points, because what has happened is these triggers would go off in their life, and now they are abused, they're addicted to drugs. And sometimes, they're in life situations of being raped on the street. And so there are a lot of situations that have caused them to be incarcerated. And so we like to give them hope. And so what we do is once a month we go in and we teach them the word. We have praise and worship. And we minister one-on-one with some of them. And we invite them to come to our Hope Closet that we have at A Door Hope Ministries. And this gives us an opportunity to be an open door to them. And whenever they get out of jail, they're able to contact us. And in the process, when they come to the closet, we're able to offer them our services for the counseling and for the classes that we offer.
And why is it called a closet?
Well, this closet has wonderful things. We have clothes, we have shoes, we have purses.
Now that'll get any girl in there.
Oh, and it's absolutely fabulous. We believe that these girls have been through so much in their life that we want to give them the best. And we believe that the Father, He loves to give His children the best. And so this is why we would love to have them come in and pick out their own clothes and jewelry and toiletries. But I want to say that this is on a faith base. And so we ask the community, if you have items that you would like to donate to Door of Hope, we would love to accept them.
Okay, I'm sure. Clothing, dresses, and shoes and
purses,
accessories.
accessories, toiletries, whatever, for all women, all sizes, because we have so many young girls come through and women, and we just want to give them the best.
That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned classes. Do you also teach classes? Is that another department?
I'm going to be one of the counselors, and also I will be one of the teachers whenever we start our classes. I think it's going to be in November after our open house. We're going to start the classes themselves. We are doing the counseling now. And so, yes, ma'am, I do participate in that as well.
Tell me just, what is your experience been going into the prisons? What does that feel like?
To me, it is just such a blessing and an opportunity for anyone to be able to go in and to minister to such broken women and to offer them hope and to give them Jesus, the Word. It's to see people coming up from such a past and to know that God can deliver them and set them free. It's just an awesome feeling, and God gets all the glory for it. And I'm just thankful to have the opportunity to be His vessel.
Now, how did you get connected with Door of Hope?
Kristen and I used to go to church together and meet, and she always spoke about a women's facility, and it's just so happened it's always been my vision as well. And in the past, I worked 6 months for a facility in a meet, and we just connected. And she said, I think God is ready to launch the ministry. And I said, well, I'm on board. And so we've just been connected. And ever since her vision has come about and being birthed, I've just been right there with her. And so we're just real close, and God has just entwined us and put us together.
So you've been there right from the beginning,
right
even before the beginning, huh?
Yes.
Well, that's great. What do you enjoy most about the ministry?
Just seeing the girls come in and being ministered to, and seeing that God is just restoring. He is a God of reconciliation. And to know that God is actually using Kristen and I and the other women that are involved to turn these lives around. And to know that change is coming. And to know that, just change is simply having a repentant heart and knowing that God is delivering them and setting them free. And they're going to be awesome women of God, healed, and back into the community and being able to live a normal, successful life.
What do you do? I suppose many of the women that you may come across have children of their own, do they?
Well, yes, ma'am. The ones that we talk to in jail, they do have children, and usually they're with the grandparents or ex-husband. And so just to know that when they get out of jail, and that they come to our counseling classes and they overcome, that it really mends a family. It puts a family back together, the children and the mothers. And that is one of the biggest cry that the women have in jail, is because, they're separated from their children and they just want their children to know that they love them. And so Kristen and I have the opportunity to let them know that, God is there in the midst of that and that He will put them back together with their family.
It really does just come down to hope.
Yes.
Just
hope is such an expectation of what God is going to do.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm so glad you came with Kristen today, and it's exciting to hear how the Lord is using you in all of these different areas. Is there anything else you wanted to tell us about before we go on?
No, ma'am. I think that
we've covered it?
Yes, ma'am, we have, and thank you for inviting us.
Oh, my pleasure. Now stay tuned, because Kristen is coming back, and we're going to hear a few more details about what's coming up next. Stay tuned. We're back with Kristen Maddox, who is the executive director and the founder of A Door of Hope Ministries over in Livingston Parish in the Denham Springs area. The ministry has made great progress over the last year. They're just off to a roaring start. But one thing, that just blew me away a few minutes ago was when Kristen told me that her office right now is in the same building, in the same room where she first encountered God in her life. And during the break, she was just sharing that she actually worked in a crisis pregnancy center for about 10 years. And that's maybe where some of this burden for young women began to develop. Why don't you tell us more about that?
Well, 3 years after I got out of jail, and I went back to the very crisis pregnancy center in that building, and was there for a little over 10 years, and just working one-on-one with the girls that would come there for a crisis pregnancy, that may have been in a crisis pregnancy rather, just to be able to share the truth of about abortion. Teaching them, just every avenue, talking to them about adoption, trying to help them make a plan. We, of course, are pro-life, and, we're just trying to reach that mother's heart. But one of the things that I saw working in the counseling room with the girls was that many of them were trapped in a vicious cycle. For some, they were in a relationship with someone, no vehicle, no job, had to get a ride to the clinic. For others, they were struggling with addiction. Even in the jail, we've seen people come in, leave, and come right back in. And so there's this cycle that needs to be broken in their life. And so A Door of Hope is really here to equip the girls with the tools that they need to overcome and break that cycle so that they can be the mothers and the wives and members of society, and to be really all that God's called them to be.
Yes, that's right. This whole idea of breaking a cycle, I know that's something a few years back when I was working in the nonprofit realm was really, an observation, something that many of us would sit around and just talk about, because we saw the same thing when someone just kind of grows up and that's all they've ever seen, and then they are without resources, and so it just kind of goes over and over and over again. And it is a big question. How do we break that cycle? And so you were telling me your classes are sort of they'll be geared along those lines?
Absolutely. We teach them, first of all, it's Bible-based. So everything that we teach is from the Word of God, but we teach them, who they are in Christ, that God has a plan for their life, that their past doesn't determine their future, that they have choices that they can make that will bring change, that they can apply the Word of God in their life, that they're not a victim, they're an overcomer, they're a survivor. They don't have to remain in that victim mentality, and just being able to walk with them and to be that helper, that mentor. But, our goal and our vision is to provide a home, a residential program for girls, because many of them don't have a place to go when they get out of jail. Some of them are on the streets right now. And a lot of times you need to really bring them out of the environment that they're in into a safe place, if you will, to be able to walk with them through their journey to healing and to freedom and breaking that cycle once and for all.
Yes, because breaking out of that victim mentality, it's really whatever situation they're in. It involves a change of mind, a change of of thinking, and a lot of times that the best case is to be able to get into a brand new set of circumstances, a brand new atmosphere. So I hope that comes about for you for Door of Hope very soon. If anyone's listening and would like to donate a house to Door of Hope, I'm sure they would love to talk to you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell us again, you've got some exciting events coming up. What's going on the rest of the year?
October 26th, we are having our 5K Run for Hope, and that's at the Denham Springs train station in the Antique District. We've got free food, face painting. There's going to be skits, testimonies of people's lives that have been changed, and it's just a great family time. So moms, bring your children, bring your strollers. It's just going to be just a fun time, and all proceeds, of course, will go to towards a Door of Hope ministry. Also, we want to invite you out to tour the facility, and you can do that on November the 6th. It's on a Wednesday from 11 to 3. We'll have refreshments there for you. We're having a ribbon cutting ceremony at 11, but feel free to stop by and come see where we're at. We'd love to have you.
Okay, so October 26th and November 6th,
Yes.
10 days apart. Now, the 5K will be a fundraiser.
Yes.
You got any other fundraising going on this year?
Not this year. That's our last one for the year. So far, we're doing good. We've got plenty of volunteers. We've got runners that are signing up. You may be interested in getting your ladies group, your youth group, your business, your coworkers. Get a team together. We're giving out a prize for most creative. So, just bring it.
Yeah, and how fun to be in the antique district and just be able to walk through. It's going to be, I'm sure, lovely weather because it'll cool off a little bit. Yeah. So this is the time, and you'll probably have a really good excuse to shop while you're there too.
There you go. That works.
All right. Well, what else you want to share with us today before we wrap this up, Kristen?
I guess if I could just leave you with something, if you're out there and you're struggling with something, maybe a past abortion that you've never told anyone about. Maybe you were sexually abused as a child and you've not been able to put a voice to your pain. We're here, and you can reach us at 665-HOPE. All of our services are free and confidential, and please call us.
Yes, I'm just sitting here next to Kristen. You can just sense her heart, her compassion. And so I really do encourage you, if it's you or if you know someone that could maybe benefit from just talking to someone like Kristen or someone at the center, please give them a call at A Door of Hope. Thanks for coming over and visiting with us, and congratulations on the great progress that you've made. And we certainly wish you the best in these next events that are coming up.
Yes, thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure as well.
Thank
All right. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We'll see you next time on North Shore Talk.